Let me ask you a very uncomfortable question today. Now, do you remember that time when Zimbabwe actually took land from the white farmers? You know, I remember Mr. Robert Mugabe was busy telling the former Prime Minister, Mr. Tony Blair, to say, if you know any black African or a black Zimbabwean with land in the United Kingdom, grab that land away from them. Obviously, the reason why he said what he said was because he knew that there are very little or no black Africans or Zimbabweans at that time that owned land in the United Kingdom.
Don't mind having and bearing sanctions banning us from Europe. We are not Europeans. We have not asked for any inch of Europe or any square inch of that territory. So, Blair, keep your England and let me keep my Zimbabwe.
So if you really think about it, that made a lot of sense at the time. But then we've got a man called Mr. Joshua Maponga, who is a Pan-Africanist. He's just said something that is very, very intriguing because it really targets most of our leaders. And I don't think a lot of African leaders would really want to accept or hear this. And this is very important, and I want you to listen to what the man has to say right here.
So here is the presentation for today, which I will offend some people, but I will offend you in a nice way. So sit up straight, pull up your chair, and here we go on a roller coaster of a mind. In ancient times past, before colonizers came here, Africa had its own way of celebrating itself, had its own empires, had its own kingdoms. And these include the Sahel, the Axion, Carthage, Congo, Abyssinia, Munumtapa. These are really ancient monarchs that were here. And we had our own forms and ways we're governing ourselves before the white men told us how to govern us. And the comment that I'm receiving, particularly from our South African friends, it's I must always be talking about South Africa, I must talk about Zimbabwe. Here is the stinger on the timetable. Many people, when they want to laugh at countries and failed states, they want to look at Zimbabwe as a failed state. And that narrative is not coming from amongst us. It is coming from the Western people, for the Western world. It is coming from the farmers who were removed from our farms here, and we sent them back home. So here is the statement. Zimbabwe did what no other African country in the entire Commonwealth has done. That must be complimented. And that was to take land away from the white people. Yes, we can start having ideas. When they took it, they should have done this, they should have done this, and now the other 61 farms, you're giving them back to the white people. That's not where the conversation is. The conversation is we are the only country in the entire Commonwealth that took away land from the white people, and we took it back to ourselves as a state. And that's where my problem is, right there. On taking away land from the colonialists and making that land state land. And yet we know that the state does not have a receipt from the traditional people from whence the land was taken from or stolen from. So all African governments, to say the least, that are saying they have state land, they are thieves. Because how can you have state land and yet you don't have a receipt of the state itself? And the state, which was a colonial state, had stolen the land from the African people who have not yet received that land. So even if the land is in the hands of the government, it doesn't mean that yet it is in the hands of the people under the jurisdiction of the royal houses. Boom! There we go for the uncomfortable conversation. Kings are the custodians. They are the trustees. And the people are the beneficiaries. This is under our traditional covenants. Kings are the trustees and the people are the beneficiaries. Therefore, we must not be afraid of restoring back our royal houses as the rightful trustees of the land. Yes, you heard me well.